Welcome to the Bermuda Institute of Ocean Sciences. My name is Caitlin Noyes. Behind the camera we've got Kyla Smith, and we're going to be walking you through the beginner race course for the product demonstration section of the Mid-Atlantic Robotics and Education program for this year. So talking about beginner class, if you're in beginner class this year, you're going to be traveling through the ocean zones with your remotely operated vehicle. And so we've divided the ocean into three major zones based on how much sunlight is penetrating them. So you're going to have different challenges based on the sunlight, twilight, and midnight zone. So sunlight being the most productive layer from 0 to 200 meters, 200 to 1,000 meters being that twilight zone as light diminishes in the ocean, and then below 1,000 meters you're going to have a task to explore the midnight zone. So we're going to be going task by task with you, talking about what these props look like in the pool and how much points each of them are valued at for your team. We are going to be exploring task 1, which is our task in the sunlight zone. Remember, that is the upper 200 meters of the ocean. This is a highly productive zone. And so you're going to be on your mission to take your ROV to the Bermuda Atlantic time series, 50 miles southeast of Bermuda, and you are going to be collecting a fluorometric sample. A fluorometer helps to measure the wavelength, the peaks of wavelengths of light, and can be used as a proxy for understanding how productive the ocean is, or how much chlorophyll is out there from these microscopic plants that are hugely productive. And so this is going to be your fluorometer here. It's going to be on the top of the pool deck. 10 points is awarded to if you can take it down to the bottom of the pool. If you can activate your fluorometric sample, you have to put the ring on one of 3 trigger points on the stand. And this is worth 10 points if you can do so. Any of the 3 will get you your 10 points. That will trigger your fluorometric sample, which is your 4-inch end cap here that will have a floating string. So if you can successfully return that fluorometric sample to the top of the pool deck, you're going to get 10 points. Inside, you're going to have 2 different graphs. That deep chlorophyll maximum, that peak in productivity, is different during different seasons at the Bermuda Atlantic time series. So inside the cap, you're going to have 2 graphs. And you're going to have to identify the peak at spring and fall at the Bermuda Atlantic time series. So this will be where your graph reaches its maximum before that it tapers off. We will going to be showing some examples of that in our secret cheat sheets that we'll be sending you. If you can do that, each one of those graphs successfully identified is 5 points, so for a total of 10 points. And if you can complete that whole task 1, it is worth 50 points. So task 2 is all about recovering creatures from the twilight zone. And so your ROV is going to be headed to Challenger Bank, 22 miles southwest of Bermuda, and you're going to be recovering samples from 250 meters there in the twilight zone. And so these are going to be your suction core samples. They're going to be inside PVC to secure them from falling, and they will have a flotation string here at the top. If you can successfully retrieve the suction core with the creatures in them, they are worth 5 points each if you can lift them off the bottom of the pool. If you can return these mission critical samples to the pool deck, each suction core is worth 10 points. Okay? Inside the core are going to be 2 creatures found in the twilight zone. So we're just going to show you one example of those creatures here, which is the giant isopod. You'll have a key on the pool deck to help identify these creatures. It can be one of 15 different creatures that will be inside. 3 of them will be representations of those creatures, and 1 of them is going to be a description of those critters. So you're going to want to take a look at those cheat sheet notes to figure out which critters you're going to need to know that live in the twilight zone. If you can identify each of these 4 critters contained within the 2 tubes, they are 5 points each, so that's 10 points total. If you can complete all of task 2, it is worth 50 points. We are rounding out our task with the final task of this year's beginner challenge, which is benthic mapping and marine debris retrieval. So for this challenge, you are going to be heading all the way to the Mid-Atlantic Ridge on the western boundary. So that's just over 1,000 miles from the coast of Bermuda. and your ROV is going to be deployed all the way through the ocean zones, all the way to the midnight zone. It's actually going to be working in tandem with an autonomous underwater vehicle known as the REMUS 6000. The REMUS will be doing bathymetric mapping, and the job of your ROV is going to be filming a video transect of that same place where the AUV is mapping. So this is going to be your benthic camera here. This is a PVC-T, which you'll notice is there is Velcro on the bottom. Your benthic camera has to be lifted up off the bottom of the pool. For that, you get 10 points. If you can attach it to the benthic mapping transect here, which also has Velcro on its ring, you get another 10 points. There will be flotation in the T, so if it starts to fall, it will float back up. And the job of the ROV is going to be to move that benthic camera all the way along that video transect mapping the ocean floor. When it gets to the other end is when you can move on to the next portion of this task. You do have to do the entire of the mapping of the seafloor bottom to release your bathymetric maps taken by the AUV. So if you're able to do that whole portion there, it's 30 points, 10 to pick up the T, 10 to attach, and 10 to move it all along the transect. Once you've done that, you can retrieve your bathymetric maps, which will be inside this green PVC-T. There will be 2 different features of the ocean bottom contained within them. If you can identify both of those features, they are worth, let me just check, they're worth 5 points each or 10 points total. To return this PVC green T to the pool deck is going to be worth 10 points. There is one other part of this challenge, because even in the deepest midnight zone, there is still marine debris. And so you guys are going to be helping us to identify the types of marine debris that are making its way all the way to the midnight zone. So if you can collect 2 marine debris samples off the bottom of the pool, they are 5 points each for 10 points total. There's going to be marine debris attached to them. If you can return them to the pool deck, you get another 10 points for each of them. We've allowed the use of an elevator, which will be on the bottom of the pool with a flotation that's attached to the top side of the pool. If you'd like to put your marine debris in the elevator and haul them to the pool deck, you still get the same amount of points. 10 points, 5 points to pick them up off the pool deck, and 10 points each to bring them to the top side of the pool deck. To analyze each of these, to look at the decomposition of the time it takes for the marine debris to decompose, it's each worth 10 points. So that makes this entire task 3 worth 100 points. Product demonstration, companies will have 20 minutes to complete as many pieces of the race course as possible. If they are able to complete all tasks in 15 minutes, they will receive a 10-point bonus. To also, when you arrive at the pool, your ROV is going to be sized with these sizing boards. Here's an example of just our 44 sizing board. Your ROV can be any size, but to receive a sizing bonus, if it can fit inside a 40 centimeter ring, like this one's 44, you get an extra 10 points. And if you can fit inside a 48 centimeter ring, it is going to be an extra 5 points. If it's bigger than that, you just don't get the sizing bonus. Last 3 aspects of your points total for this year's beginner challenge are going to be safety, your product interview, and your marketing display. So you will have a safety judge inspect your ROV to make sure that it's ready to go into the water, and so you want to make sure you consult your manual for different pieces of that safety analysis. If you get your safety bonus, you'll be able to start to demonstrate your ROV, and that will be worth 10 points. Some of those mission critical points, don't forget about the importance of your product interview. That is worth a total of 40 points, in which your company will be asked questions about the design of your ROV, and they'll also make sure that every member of your team knows about the different challenges and about how you designed and built your ROV. Okay? The last part of your challenge is going to be your marketing display. Please consult your manual for the sections of that marketing poster that are comprised of a successful marketing poster. That's going to be worth 50 points. And so you can bring your marketing poster to your engineering product interview should you need to explain different aspects of your design. That will round out all of your scores between your safety, your sizing, your timing, your product demonstration of all of the in-water, and your product demonstration interview, as well as your marketing poster. We wish you lots of luck in this year's challenge.